I'm barring you now from going to TSU.
Oh,
I'm also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with any of the complaining witnesses in this case, not to consume alcohol, illegal, not to be in possession of weapons. If I find that you're a danger to my community, I will do everything in my power to take you off the street. Do you understand?
sir, I understand. May I ask what this bar? Okay.
You were on bond for an assault case that have taken off on us at least 3 different times, and now you've picked up a new case. You were charged with failure to identify oneself while being a fugitive from justice. On that case, you're now facing a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you, sir.
On March 7, 2025, at approximately 4:44 p.m., an officer observed a vehicle with expired registration as of December 2024. A traffic stop was initiated. The officer made contact with the defendant, the driver, advised he did not have any form of ID on his person, and provided his name as Daniel Escamilla, date of birth, April 24th, 1998. The officer did a search and saw the defendant did not resemble the Texas driver's license that came up for Daniel Escamilla. The officer got a hit for David Escamilla, the defendant's real name, and saw there was an outstanding warrant. The Texas driver's license photo for David Escamilla resembled the defendant. The officer utilized mobile AFIS and confirmed that the defendant was David Escamilla. The defendant admitted to providing the officer with his twin brother's information instead of his own due to the open warrant.
Do you see if he has a license? Can you check, please?
Yes, it's ineligible, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Escamilla, I'm going to have you sign an affidavit with me today. I don't give a rat's behind what is going on in your life. If you don't have a Texas driver license and liability insurance, you are not to drive. And if I find that you do, I can have a contempt hearing. You can be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you get into a car. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You have a lawyer, Mr. Escamilla.
No, sir.
I'm going to appoint you a lawyer today. Your case, your assault case is 1,000 days old. We are going to figure out what happens with this case today. Can you appoint him a lawyer, please? If this case gets reset today, you will get an ankle monitor, and I'm going to send you for a drug test right now. I want to ensure that you're not using anything as well. You know what? Let's just do that now. Police, if you can send him, please. If you fail to take the test, if you fail to come back, I'm going to make your bond so high you'll have hair falling out. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
The next time you take off on me and fail to come to court, so help me on those bonds. Do you understand?
Yes.
Take a seat for me.
Mr. Escamilla.
Good morning, Mr. Goff. The reason that we took you into custody now is because you were on deferred for an aggravated assault of a family member. It looks like that's in warrant status now and no bond, actually. With us, you've picked up a possession of marijuana. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 5th, 2025, at approximately 11:50 p.m., an officer observed a vehicle parked in a handicapped parking space with no displayed license plate or placard, and then leave the parking lot. The vehicle had expired registration as of July 2024. A traffic stop was initiated. The defendant was the driver, and he was ID'd by his Texas ID card. The officer observed the strong odor of marijuana emitting from the vehicle, and the defendant admitted to being in possession of several small plastic bags of marijuana under the driver's seat. A probable cause search was conducted, and 4 bags were located under the driver's seat, 0.154 ounces.
All right, Mr. So he doesn't have a license, correct?
His driver's license is eligible, Your Honor.
Mr. Goff, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm not putting any conditions on your bond now. Just behave. That's all I'm asking you to do. You know, you're on felony probation. You're supposed to have a halo over your head, you know? When you don't, bad things happen, as you now see. Can you go ahead and appoint him a lawyer now? So I'm going to appoint you a lawyer so that you can speak to someone. We'll take you into custody now. You'll probably hit felony court Monday, and then we'll just give you a reset of like a week or two to figure out what happens. Okay? All right, man. Good luck. Good morning, Mr. Martin. Sir, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 8th, 2025, officers were dispatched to a weapons call at 821 Custer Street in Harris County, Texas. The caller stated that there were about 10 people fighting, and the caller saw a gun. The officer observed a multitude of people walking from the street into the property and saw the defendant fitting the description as the person with the gun. The officer approached the defendant and he admitted to having a gun on his person. Upon a frisk, the officer found the outline of a firearm in a crossbody bag on the defendant's person. The officer removed the handgun from the bag. The defendant is 19 years old.
What's he doing wrong? Hold on. All right, I'm going to find no probable cause in your case, Mr. Martin. Be careful. You know, you're 19, you have a gun. God forbid you use it, put yourself in such a deep hole. You know, really. Go to school, get some knowledge, get a good job. You'll get a ton of money, and then life's great. Life sucks without money. I promise you. Don't end up in a hole, hang out with dogs, because all you're going to do is get fleas, you know? Take a seat, please. Joseph Martin?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Martin, you have a total of 4 open cases. You're charged with 4 counts of assault. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
On March 8th, 2025, officers were dispatched to 4527 Perry Street in Houston, Texas, in Harris County regarding an assault. The complainant, Hayes, stated that she was in a verbal argument with the defendant, and that led to her being pushed by the defendant. Complainant Hayes said that she hurt her hand due to being pushed into a car with the defendant and that she felt pain. The complainant, McDaniel, then stated that she confronted the defendant to see her friend getting assaulted by the defendant and that she felt pain. The complainant, McDaniel, then stated that she confronted the defendant to see her friend getting assaulted by the defendant. The defendant then started swinging and struck the back of Daniel's head, and that complainant felt pain as well. Complainant Powell then stated that she was assaulted by the defendant due to also trying to defend her friend, complainant Hayes. Complainant Powell says that he approached them to confront the defendant, and the defendant just started swinging and that she got struck by the defendant. Complainant Powell stated that she does not recall how that she was hit, but that she felt pain. Complainant Martin stated that she knows the defendant from school and they both attend TSU. The complainant Martin stated that she was trying to calm the defendant down but does not remember the physical assault due to her being knocked out unconscious by the defendant. Complainant Martin felt pain. A witness stated that she saw the whole incident and saw that the defendant was arguing with complainant Hayes and that the defendant started pushing complainant Hayes into a vehicle. Complainant Martin was then trying to de-escalate the situation and stated that when she saw complainant Martin get struck by the defendant and get knocked unconscious for approximately 2 minutes.
Is that number 3 or 2?
That's 4.
That's the 4th.
That's 4th, Your Honor. The witness then stated that she saw the defendant punch complainant Martin on the left side of the face. The defendant admitted to being involved in the physical altercation with the complainant and pushing them away. The complainant 2 had a knot on the back of her head. Complainant 3 had a small swelling on the left side of her face. And complainant 4 had small swelling under her left eye and was transported to the hospital due to being unconscious.
All this happens at TSU?
It is. It was a party, yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Martin, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm now barring you from going to TSU.
Yes, sir.
I'm barring you now from going to TSU.
Oh,
I'm also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with any of the complaining witnesses in this case. not to consume alcohol, illegal, not to be in possession of weapons. If I find that you're a danger to my community, I will do everything in my power to take you off the street. Do you understand?
Sir, I understand. May I ask what this bar?
Ah.
Okay.
You have the ability to hire a lawyer, Mr. Martin.
Oh, sir.
You work.
Sir.
I'll have you fill out an application. Deputy Miranda will give you an application. I'll see whether you qualify for an appointed lawyer. I'm going to have you sign a receipt with Victoria, then I'll have you meet with Felicia for your bond conditions. Life is way too short to sit in a box that's 6 by 9, man. Keep my city safe. Otherwise, it's going to go sideways real quick. You understand?
Yes, sir, I understand.
Okay, come on.
Thank you. I'll go.
Right this way.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you, ma'am.
On March 9, at approximately 3:14 a.m., the officer observed a vehicle driving without taillights and swerving its own lane side to side. The officer observed the vehicle failed to maintain a single lane and merged into another lane, almost colliding with the vehicle in that lane. A traffic stop was initiated. The officer made contact with the defendant, the driver and sole occupant of the vehicle, and she was identified by her Texas driver's license. The officer observed the defendant to have bloodshot eyes, slurred of speech, and odor of an alcoholic beverage on her breath and in person. The defendant stated that she had 2 tequila drinks. SFSTs were conducted. This is 6 out of 6 on the HTS, 4 out of 8 on the walk and turn, and a 2 out of 4 on the one-leg stand. The DIC was read and the defendant consented to breath. The results were at 0.137 and 0.132.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm going to find that there's sufficient probable cause to go forward with the case. You also look prior to WI's license, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using, I will revoke your bond, put you in jail. No more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Judge, on the testing, what is that? I can pass on that message.
Just random testing. No alcohol, no dope,
Okay.
illegal drugs.
Yeah, I guess just so I can pass it on, if there's a pattern of nothing, can he reapproach in the future?
Of course. It's gotta, I mean, don't come in 2 weeks though.
No.
Right. But yes, of course.
License is eligible, no prior to.
Okay, so you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance. You don't have to waste your time coming to court, but you must stay in touch with them. They'll tell you when you have to come back to court. As long as you don't pick up any new cases, we'll be fine. I'll have you sign a receipt with Victoria. We'll get you with Felicia for your bond conditions, then you're free to go, man.
All right, thank you very much.
Have a good day. Good morning, Mr. Robinson.
Good morning, sir.
Sir, you're charged with terroristic threat. You are facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On March 7th, 2025, in Harris County, Texas, at 315 Capitol Street in Houston, Texas. The complainant is a security guard for the building and was walking around Bagby when he found the defendant sleeping on the sidewalk. The defendant was not supposed to be there, and the complainant told him repeatedly that the defendant was not allowed to be there until around 11 p.m. at night. The defendant then began to get hostile and aggressive and threatened to shoot the complainant while slowly reaching into his bag. The complainant feared for his life.
Did you say he's not allowed to be there until 11 p.m.? Did I hear you say that? What is it?
I don't know. But when the complainant, we did not charge a trespass in this case. So when the complainant said you're not allowed to be there, we back at 11, and that's when the response.
Can you say it again? What did he say again?
Complainant repeatedly told the defendant that he was not allowed to sleep there until after 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And since it was before 11 p.m., he was therefore trespassing and not allowed to be on the premises. The defendant had threatened the complainant that he was going to get his gun and shoot him by signaling that his bike opened his bag with his plant field first.
He said, I'm going to get my gun and shoot you.
I don't have it in both, but I say the complainant The defendant threatened the complainant that he was going to get his gun and shoot him, signaling this by going to his bathroom.
Ask a question.
Who wrote the report? The actual officer who got threatened or someone else?
The officer did not write the report. I mean, the officer wrote the report, not the security guard. The security guard is the one who was threatened here.
Mr. Robinson, I'm going to find probable cause for now. Okay. Let me give you a lawyer. Talk to the lawyer. Just don't have any contact with the security guard. That's the only thing I'm going to ask you to do, right?
If I might say real quick, I know you're busy. They have a city ordinance, that's why you can't lay 11. But I was recently jumped, I got my medical records.
Look, don't tell me because I've got a bunch of DAs. I don't want you to say something that hurts the case. Let me give you a lawyer. Everything you say, when you want to tell me, tell the lawyer, and then they can tell me what,
I understand.
okay?
Because the defendant works this location and we're not in contact with this location.
What is this? What is this
It's
place?
in the Oz building downtown.
That's the top, that's where I was at. The top.
Don't go back, please. The problem is I don't want you to run into the security officer, then more bad blood comes up. They file more charges. That's why.
I understand, I never said that, I ain't tripping. Already filed a motion for discovery inspection. I didn't even have a bag on me.
Don't worry about it. We'll take care of you. I'll have you sign a receipt, Victoria. We'll have you take a seat. Let me find your lawyer. and
Yes,
then-
sir.
Okay, please.
Right this way.